everyone. Allow me to introduce myself for people who might not know me today here. My name is Buzzer from the Based Indonesian Show. And what I do is I post trash, basically, in TikTok and Instagram. And it's such a miracle for some reason that I got invited here to TEDxUniversitasAirlangga University to deliver a speech regarding unbiased choices that affects our lives. So, before I start, I'd like to thank the TEDx community in Airlangga for inviting me here today to be counted amongst the world's greatest, the world's most brightest minds. It's an experience that I cannot fathom to replicate in my lifetime. So thank you very much for the committee. I give you guys an applause. Right. So, today, let's just get straight to business. I want to talk to you about something that controls us today. Of course, that is as potent as traditional politics itself. I'm talking about algorithms. Yes, the content that curates, the system that curates our choices, that chooses exactly what content that we laugh at, the news that we read, shapes the very perception of our opinion. It also shapes politics in ways that are subtle and also profound in different ways. Now, before I continue to talk about algorithms, I'd like to talk about politics and power first. And as a student of power, I believe it's imperative for me to create the foundations of my discussion today. So as you can see, algorithms, they control people's thoughts, they shape people's perspectives. As you can see in this slide right here, it evokes a certain emotion. It goes viral. Now, let's go back to power and politics. Let's define exactly what politics is. In 1965, a Canadian political theorist named David Easton, I believe, has successfully defined what politics is. And politics is the authoritative allocation of values. If you think about it, politics is not just about laws, it's not just about norms, it's not just about deals and agreements and policies. Politics is about value. Now, politics transfer values to objects, people attach it to concepts, and these values grant power. Right. Take, for example, this symbol up above, Garuda Pancasila. Take away all the value from this symbol, it becomes a picture of a weird-looking eagle or phoenix or avian creature. I don't know what this is actually. It's a yellow bird with a weird-looking shield that is divided into 5 parts. It's really peculiar and weird drawing to be having as a national symbol. But imbue it with values, with beliefs, it becomes something powerful. It becomes the symbol of our nation, Indonesia, a symbol of our unity, a symbol of our diversity, and a symbol of our strength. Now, speaking about Indonesia, let's examine Indonesia. Very big place. Dari Sabang sampai Merauke. This is Indonesia. Truly a big place. The greatest country in the world. Give you guys yourself an applause, guys. I'm kidding. This nation of Indonesia has a population of 281 people. Had the 16th largest population in terms of, the 16th biggest economy according to gross domestic products in data found in World Bank and IMF. the 8th biggest economy in terms of gross domestic product per purchasing power, a strong identity, cultural identity, where everybody, regardless of race and background, is able to unite. We have a very strong philosophical foundation. And best of all, we sell commodity. That's what makes us significant in the global politics. It's that we sell commodity. The largest commodity we sell is minerals and palm oil. Now, obviously, a nation as grand as Indonesia, it really makes people think, like, who exactly gets to lead this big system? Who exactly will have the power to dictate what gets what and what sort of laws that gets written in place in our country? That becomes appealing to a lot of people because power is attractive. And so obviously, people want to be at the top. So when you are at the top of Indonesia, you determine the destiny of 281 million lives and the 16th biggest economy in the world. Don't you guys think that's attractive? Not if you agree. I don't see anybody nodding, so I think power is not attractive, and I'm proud of you guys. So, once you reach at the top, you have the power to literally choose whatever literally do whatever you want to do. And obviously, these politicians, when they go to the top, they don't just claw themselves up to the top. We live in a democratic society, ladies and gentlemen. And thus, politicians, they need votes. And votes, you get politicians in a democratic society, they get votes to get into office, to get into power. And that's where political parties goes in, right? So political parties, they, in a democratic society like Indonesia, we're the 3rd biggest democracy in Indonesia, they operate more like businesses than actual political parties that believes in any sort of ideology. They believe in one ideology, and that's, I don't know what that is, but it's not whatever they're representing right now. But anyways, they function as businesses. They sell seats, they sell votes, and they sell influence. They transfer value, and with those value, they create power. And these value often come from controlling people. And if they can't control the people, they control the narrative. And the values, obviously. And this brings me to something that is radically changing on how people are controlled today, which is social media algorithms. How does this thing relate to algorithms? Well, let me explain to you. Social media algorithms has created an environment where information spreads like wildfire at unprecedented speed, and the power of that content, well, it's at the hands of algorithm. For political parties, social media algorithm is the perfect place for political propaganda. And since we live in the post-truth era, people tend to go above and beyond accepting reality not as a byproduct of what is rational logic, but rather what validates them. Reality is constructed by people not because of reason, but because of sentiment. We choose exactly what we believe to be true. If you think 1 + 1 is a window, then you do you. Basically that, right? That goes. As long as it's not harming people, then 1 + 1 = a window is for you. That is post-truth. So, algorithm don't just push content that we might like, no. Algorithm, they will push content that will keep us engaged day don't only manipulate, but they also amplify what we think is right or what we think is wrong. Actually, I'm supposed to put like incendiary news headlines here, but because the TEDx committee has censored it, so I had to put this hashtag, controversial content. Let the power of imagination guide you. So, again, let me emphasize my point. People, they construct the reality they want. Political parties helps you construct the reality you want, so you believe in them. You believe in political parties and you believe in politics. Besides manipulation, it amplifies biases. Why? Because it doesn't tell you what is right and what is wrong. You choose what is right and what is wrong, and they keep on feeding you what is right and what is wrong using a silver spoon. Moving on, as you can see here, let me provide an example in Europe. There is a bunch of Twitter accounts in Europe that post really incendiary remarks and headlines that incites discrimination, polarization, and also radicalization against immigrants in Europe, fueling and paving the way towards far-right politics to take rise upon European governments. You can see this trend happening everywhere in Europe, and that is the byproduct of social media. Now, we have talked about how algorithms could be instrumentalized to manipulate people, to feed them biases, and also to control people. But if you think about it again, it could also be a good thing, right? Because in the end, algorithms is just instruments. It doesn't matter what your intentions are, you can still use them. Because if you think about it again, algorithms, social media has managed to level the playing field for many people out there, and algorithms has become a cause, because social media is the ultimate equalizer for many people everywhere. So consider the ripple effect of, like, say, a bunch of teenagers fighting, right? It's a very unassuming video of one teenager smacking the head of the other teenager, and then suddenly, one day, that content creates a ripple effect because it's in the algorithm, and it manages to take down a ring of government officials that has yet to pay their taxes. Now, this domino effect is insane. It's unprecedented. It's something that is impossible to do back in the days before there was social media, but now it is possible to do so. We are managed to put people accountable because of algorithm. It is real, and truth is, algorithms are at the core of it. We believe that abuse is going on and a bunch of people see it. At the same time, they see something going on inside that picture, which leads to a bunch of government officials being fired because they didn't pay their taxes. Now, as you can see here, that is exactly what I was explaining. This is the point that I was trying to emphasize. And the point that I was trying to make, if it didn't come across towards you guys, is that algorithms are a source of power, and power doesn't discriminate what is good or what is bad. So, social media is not just for passive consumption. Let me, one more time, emphasize it. It's an equalizer. Anyone, regardless of background, they can create content, and that content, if it successfully validates the sentiments of people in Indonesia, then it can spark into something bigger. For instance, look at how many political influencers we have in Indonesia. I'm also one political influencer. We are a market that is oversaturated. I don't need to name names, but you know exactly the amount, the bunch of people that I'm talking about. Political influencers in Indonesia are everywhere. It's a sign. So they're not traditional politics. They're social media influencers who have managed to create a narrative, amplify it, and also turn it into a reality that millions of people believe. Take, for example, one political influencer decides to go take the fight and create awareness regarding the dangers of online gambling. And such is that the power of algorithms that it spreads like wildfire in social media, and it manages to create a domino effect where the government begins to crack down on online gambling, which has costed us almost a few trillions of dollars each year, which is really bad, to be honest. But is he making a change still? Again, it's up to your interpretation. So what I'm trying to say is that social media has allowed influencers to create the change that politicians could do as well. Now, let's examine this symbol right here. Recognize the color I'm wearing? It might send a message. Take this symbol, for example. An unassuming slide of our national symbol backed by deep blue and the words emergency broadcast. This slide in the right hands is able to influence how millions of people perceive power and mobilize people onto the street to protest against the government. Like say if you're a nobody on social media, then this wouldn't work. But like say if you're a journalist who's known for your critical, thinking, your sharp questions, and being a part of a talk show for almost 2 decades, then this could be something. It gives you a lot of political capital. Now, through social media, people has found a way to control the narrative and mobilize people. This isn't just traditional politics. This is a new kind of politics, a politics that thrives on engagement, that thrives on interaction, and finally thrives on validation. Just look at how much this picture is reposted by everybody in this republic. It has managed to create so much change, maybe, but you would understand that everybody posts this and actually believes in the objective that this slide is trying to convey. People believe in this. So, in Indonesia, right now, as we speak, there is 167 million people that are active in social media. That's roughly 59% of the entire population of our nation. These people are not just consumers. They are engaged. And as we move forward with Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, Gen Betas, social media and those generations' reliance on social media will continue to strengthen algorithms in days to come. And they will have already begun to influence how we perceive politics. And now they have the tools to execute politics. So, what does it mean for the future of politics in Indonesia? It means politicians will no longer be those who hold office. They will also be content creators, influencers, and even journalists. Hell, even anybody that has a phone, like you guys have right now, a smartphone, you guys are technically politicians. Why? Because you guys have access to the algorithm. You guys have the ability to make your own content. And through that, you can manipulate public opinion. And also, through manipulation, you will gain power. And you will have authoritatively allocated power and value towards yourself. You will shape their worldview and define what is true and determine what is not. But the truth is, we are all a part of this new age. An age where everybody is literally politicians. You go on Twitter, you post something incendiary on Twitter and it blows up. You're a politician. You manage to influence how people think. You make people engage in a discussion. You create discourse and it creates a thesis, right? So that means you guys are politicians. Now, the question is, as we move forward into this new era, I urge you to ask yourselves, are you guys the one manipulated by the algorithm? Or are you guys truly in control of the narrative? That is a question that you guys can feel free to answer by yourself. I've already given you the playbook of how to control the public and manipulate public opinion. And I hope you guys use it wisely. My name is Buzzer, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.